And I wanted to know if the city manager, your charter, allows him or her to ask for raises when they think they need or want a raise, or does those raises have to come in the budget? Where do they come? And the reason I have an issue, everybody knows this that follows me, I sit on boards, and only 2 people, and everybody should have given a evaluation, did the evaluation. That's not half of the board. We don't give raises to our CEOs if they mismanage what would be a large percent of the budget. So, and I'm going back to the funds that were mismanaged during the hurricane, and then a person with years of experience mismanaging almost $500,000, sending it to someone that it was not supposed to go to. So I'm not sure how that gave anyone a highly effective evaluation. I pay taxes, I may not live here, but I pay taxes in this city and this county. For me, Mr. Sessions, one, does not deserve a raise, and either he's very ineffective or there's some other issues going on. But you should not have $500,000 in a year and a half that there's some egregious action that happened to our money. I don't care that the insurance paid for it. All last night at the voters meeting, people talked about the infrastructure. That money could have gone to do so much for this city. I'm not sure why the city manager gets to say I need a raise. And just to tell you, this city is 16% of the poverty level. I looked it up. The median years for a city manager is 3.5 to 5 years in small towns. And Mr. Jefferson said, there would not be a problem replacing the city manager. If I go back, I remember we had an excellent, well-experienced city manager from a larger city that came here because he was here, Mr. Ron Williams. So I don't think that you can be held hostage to give a raise for a person who has egregiously, again, made mistakes with taxpayers' money, and the council
Got to wrap it up. Your time
have
is
not
up, Ms.
kept
Williams.
their duty to protect our money by ever having a town hall or anything.
Your time is up, Ms. Williams. Just to be
To-
respectful
to-
to the other
to
people,
look
we
at
didn't
the
allow them to
fact
speak
of
past their
the
3 minutes
actions that
also.
he's
So,
done.
but thank you. Your point is well taken, Ms. Ma'am. All right, Ms. Smith.
Virginia Smith, 9194 132nd Terrace, Live Oak. I've sat through a lot of the city council meetings, and I've come up here and fussed at people before, and I promised myself I would not do that again. So all I can say is that you guys have got to work together. You've got to support your city manager as your city manager would support you too. I feel like there's an agenda going on to actually, I've watched the last city manager get pushed out, and I feel like there's another agenda to get this city manager pushed out. And we lost our public works director, as I understood it, because of the way he was treated, disrespectfully. So if you want to have good people, and you want to keep good people, you do have to pay them a fair salary, but you have to treat them with respect. You do have to do the golden rule. And I'm scolding again, and I'm sorry. But I don't think the money is as important as supporting each other and treating each other respectfully. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Back to the pleasure of the council.
I make a motion to proceed with moving Mr. Sessions to $115,000 for the salary.
Just as a point of clarification, we'll need to identify in the budget where those funds would come from, because it will require a budget amendment, but that could be part of the process.
So add that to it.
Yeah.
Identify where the funds would come from in the budget process.
All right, motion. And I'll pass the gavel, and I'll second the motion. Discussion, comments, or questions? I'm sorry, you said that, my bad. Sorry.
Any discussion, Ms. Board members? All right, we got a motion and a second. What is the pleasure of this board?
I would roll call.
Hopper, yes.
Owens, yes.
Brown, no.
Jefferson, no.
Campbell, yes.
That's just better. I like being in leadership.
All right, moving on to item 5C. Discussion with possible council action, potential creation of and consolidation of current positions into an assistant city manager position. I think this is something that, in lieu of time and respect for everybody sitting here tonight, would be best to be workshop. I think that I put it on here because there's been a lot of calls for HR directors. There's been calls for other positions to be created, and I don't know that we need to create positions if we can't do it in such a way that they fill a combination of roles. If we can get quote unquote more bang for our buck in that department, and it fits within the hopefully the new budget, then it can be addressed at that time. But I do think it's worth just looking at and examining, because we have seen before where something could happen medically, something could happen, just things that happen during storms, all kinds of things that it would not be a terrible idea, in my estimation, to look into having somebody who kind of fills the void when the city manager is not there, who's there to assist the city manager. And also, I do feel the really important need for an HR director or department, and I feel like maybe those can both do the same. But if it would please the council, if we could come to a consensus on whether or not that can be discussed in the upcoming workshops, budget workshops is what I'm speaking of. So I think that we can just kind of agree to
Mr.
further
President,
to the budget workshops when they do come. Yes, sir.
I hate to just keep talking, but yes, I agree. We had did this before, and there was never a date, time set for this workshop. So it was discussed, it was put down, but I don't know, your responsibility or Mr. Mayor's responsibility to be able to call the workshop, and so we can do business.
The original workshop was supposed to, I thought, have occurred prior to the, I think it was, correct, I'm speaking out of just a terrible memory right now, a lot going on before one of the CRA board meetings that we had, and I don't know where the communication failed, but it did fail. So I would like to, before we leave here tonight, to make sure and we get one of those dates and times nailed down and what exactly we're going to speak about. And I think that's probably a lot of what Miss Vanessa's going to talk about here in just a moment too. So that may be the time to nail it down during her agenda item. But would you agree with that, Miss Vanessa? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about respect. I'm gonna talk about how things go both ways with the city manager and this board here as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
All right. So we'll move on to item D then, Ms. Vanessa.
okay, item D status. To the city manager, and this is right here taking care of some old business from our last meeting. Can you give us an update on the street lights at 721 West Avenue? Has the attorney reviewed for cost and public right of way?
Street light for West Avenue?
Yeah, I think it's 721 West Avenue.
You mean church?
Oh, the church, yes,
King Street.
Okay,
yes.
so
I
has,
met with the person from FPL and actually took them out there to King Street and showed them where the lights need to be.
Mhm.
And that's FPL's up to their timeline.
So did the, because I know the congregation, one of the deacons from the church, according to the pastor, had put up a stake where they wanted the
Oh,
lights
they
to
did
be.
put a stake? I didn't see any stakes, but I may have been out there prior to the stakes.
Okay.
So I did take our FPL person out there.
has it been reviewed for the cost and the public right of way?
The right of way from that
This is
point
what-
of view would be
Go
where FPL would have to put it on their right of way.
Okay.
That either exists or doesn't exist.
They just charge a certain amount of month for
Right. So they have right of ways all through the town, so any light that would be installed would have to be on their right. And then typically, I know in neighborhoods, they charge either the neighborhood or if someone specifically at a home wants a street light in front of their house for security, then they put that in.
And that would include churches as
I
well
don't
for
know
that bill?
Churches, my understanding, would have to pay, they're tax exempt for government purposes, but I don't think they're tax exempt for, electrical companies, because FPL has to, they have to pay for it, and then they have to be, whatever their process is, they're gonna get paid whatever their standard protocol is for not only installation, but for the monthly expenses associated with that light.
I'm not sure, but I think it's somewhere around $17 a month for every single light we have in the city.
Mhm.
So just be an additional cost, but I did take our representative out there, she got off of, what do you call it? You have a baby, maternity leave, and as soon as she got back on the job, I took her straight out there to King Street.
Okay, so what should I,
Well, let them know,
Communicate with
and
the church.
I will get back with the FPL representative and
Mhm.
ask them, because this was about, it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago now.
Right.
Since I went out there.
Okay.
I'll find out.
okay,
Okay, Scott Street and illegal dumping. That was supposed to be checked out. Where are we with that?
They were dumping where the retention pond is, and they dumped down there, and of course, we cleaned it up. We can't figure out who's doing it, but I told Shelby to put cameras up to figure out, it could be multiple people or just a random thing, but he's supposed to have putting cameras up, so I'll have a meeting with Shelby every morning, so I'll discuss that with him in the morning and see if we've got any information on that yet.
Okay. Let's see, this probably right here is for the attorney. It's a question about the firefighters union in the contract that you gave us. I know you're probably going to talk about this a little bit later on, but we had said a workshop, and just to make it clear, those fees are for the workshop as well, or we were just went straight ahead to do a contract for?
Well, it's a two-pronged process. One, once we retain him, he will represent the city council and give the city council his advice as to the position of the union, because he is way more knowledgeable in this area than I am. That's number one, would be to advise the council on pros and cons. And then number two, he would, when authorized, he would then negotiate under the labor standards directly with the union to see what agreement they could work out, and then be brought back to the council.
Okay, so we're gonna have a workshop first.
I am recommending that we have a workshop. It'll have to be coordinated on his calendar. He is in Tallahassee. It may be that we've done this in other cities, is we might, to save money, have a Zoom. We can set it up on the big screens both ways, and have him appear from his office. He may decide that it's more prudent, because he is the expert in this area, to want to come here to be able to answer questions face to face. But I believe it important on an issue like this that the council have an advisor that's knowledgeable about union negotiations, and he is very knowledgeable about pros and cons of these different types of shifts.
I just want to make sure, because in our last meeting, we said we were going to have a workshop, that we are going to have a workshop before we go into any kind of contract that we are going to do this, or how it's going to be.
Correct. So if you vote tonight to allow me to execute his retainer agreement, then my staff, Alicia, will work directly with Mr. Gill and Mr. Larkin to get that arranged and get some dates out to y'all, preferably probably before a CRA meeting, because your calendar's already cleared for that time.
And I already have the information based on the overtime that was discussed about the firefighters, of the new version of their hours versus the old version. So I already have all that information to bring to the workshop.
Next thing I have, and I know this is gonna come up, well, I'll wait until that come up, because basically what I'm trying to deal with is, the status and now the HR, where we have, I think on April 1st, we received an email that we now have a new HR person. And this is what I hear from this, the people out here in the audience, whatever they talk about. The city manager is doing such a great job. There are some things the city manager does, but sometimes I think the city manager doesn't respect the people who are up here, who have been elected to make decisions for the city. For example, I'll give you this right here. In our meeting March 10th, we stated that we were going to have a workshop regarding an HR person, an HR director. April 1st, city manager hires an HR person.
No, I didn't hire an HR person.
Your
I changed the job description for someone.
Same thing, same thing.
No.
This is what, if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're gonna keep getting what we've been getting. And this backdoor stuff, it's like we're changing, I didn't say this like this, but I did it like that. This is, so we don't even get the opportunity to have a workshop about an HR department or an HR person because the city manager decides he's gonna ease that away or just put that on in there. It's what you said when I first came up here. I'll do it and ask for forgiveness later. And that has stuck with me. That has stuck with me, and there's so many instances, this I'll do it now and ask for forgiveness later. That is how we are operating. And I don't like it because I was elected to look out for the people in this city. And then the people in this city think that we up here are not doing anything. When it all comes down to a lot is regarding the city manager, what the city manager chooses to do or not do based upon what we have decided that we want to have done. You're supposed to be working from what we put up here, say, we want a workshop regarding HR, but you've already, weeks later you go like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I wanna do and ask for forgiveness later as with regarding that. I still want a workshop on HR, having that workshop done. So I think Mr. Campbell or the mayor can schedule, but we did before we schedule it. What we said was we were going to wait until after the election, so that the new person, it may be, you know, we may get 2 new people, we may get 1 new person, we may not get any new person, but we were waiting until after the election to deal with this right here. And lo and behold, here we have that change. Now, regarding the public works position, what's the status on that one?
I think I've interviewed 8. A couple of them turned it down because not enough money. I do have another applicant that actually contacted us Friday, and I have a meeting with him on Friday. He does have good qualifications. I've seen the resume. I'm hoping that this one will be a good fit. He's asking for a lot more money than we're going to pay, so I'm hoping he still just wants a change in life and work in a different place.
So that Friday we
I
should.
have a 1 o'clock interview with him on Friday. I'll have somebody else in there with me.
Okay. Those are the things that I had regarding my putting on there, but I just like transparency. Respect goes both ways. Having respect for the 5 of us, it goes just like you want respect for you, as to keeping the rest of us happy.
Agree with that. as well. Mr. Sessions, so still, I think I sent you an email concerning, give us a short summation on what's going on in each of our districts, infrastructure-wise or anything.
This is
I put
way
it-
off of.
It's way off, but I put an update in each of your boxes that shows all the projects
Okay,
in the whole city.
it's in our, okay,
Mailboxes.
great, thank you, sir.
Mr. Vanessa, are you finished?
Yes, I'm done. I have some stuff, but it follows what we have on
All right,
the agenda.
very good. All right, moving on now to item 6A, Mr. Sessions.
All right. Get back to the agenda.
All right, so you have in your packet, the letter written to me by Mr. Larkin, Allen, Norton, and Blue. Mr. Larkin specifically has worked with the city before, with good results dealing with these union type matters. You have his retainer agreement, billing rates, et cetera. And so it is my recommendation that you allow me to execute on behalf of the city, the retainer agreement, and then begin scheduling first and foremost the workshop, and then he will make contact, I'm assuming, with the firefighter union and schedule any necessary meetings with them. But he'll be the one to advise you on the sequence of events.
Do you have an estimated total of what all the services are going to?
No, we don't have that. It is, I guess, encouraging that from the information I have, that all of the active employed firefighters are all in agreement with the proposed new shift. And so that makes me optimistic that the negotiation part would be relatively quick.
Is it absolutely